Hey, I want to show you one of my most used tools in the shop. It is something I made myself out of some spare parts I had laying around. This is actually a DC motor, DC speed control. Not necessarily needed for this type of application, but it also broadens it a little bit out. You can buff plastic and stuff with it. You can speed it up, slow it down accordingly, but not necessarily necessary. So I want to show you these two 3M wheels right here. This is called a unitized wheel, 2-inch wide, and they're about they're quite a bit bigger than this to start off with, and they last a long time. And it's called a deburring wheel or unitized wheel, and it's absolutely awesome for taking the edges off when you do any machining or cutting. You get that rough burred edge, and you can just slide it along here, going with the grain, and you can just smooth it right out. And then you can also see how scratched up and dirty and oxidized and everything this is. Well, with just a couple of seconds on there, you can get it to look just like that. So you can sand out a lot of your scratches and everything with it, and you can keep going with it. Do it a little bit more yet and get all of the scratches and everything. So you can take a crappy old piece of aluminum you got laying around and turn it into an actual functional, really nice piece by using the unitized part of it. And then I can put buffing wheels on here or grinding wheels or whatever I want to do. But this is another one that most people don't know about, and it's the most handy thing I've ever used. It's absolutely awesome for doing. It's like a wire wheel, but it's plastic, and these have a grit to them. So they have all kinds of different grits where you can super polish things with them, or they make really coarse ones that you can just sand right in, paint off, and everything else. But check this out. This is one of our door sill plates off of that 64 outside, and really crusty, really oxidized, really crusty. And you can just take it just like this and turn it into this, and with just a couple of minutes of sanding on it. So it's just unbelievable. And if you wanted to, you could switch it to finer grits and polish this right out and everything, and it gets into all these little nooks and crannies because these little fingers just flex all around it. And like another thing, absolutely awesome for, here's our used CVF front runner setup we got, full of belt dust and debris and grunginess and oxidized. So we just took it on here for just a couple of seconds, and you can get every one of these grooves, just sand them right out and clean them right out of there. A little bit of spinning while you're doing this, and it's what's cool about it is you can touch that when it's running, and it won't do anything but surprise you a little bit. It'll sand your fingers just a little bit, but it won't cut you open and tear you to pieces like a normal wire wheel would be if you slip. So you can take a piece like this that's just all white oxidized and just how grungy it is, and I'll show you how fast that you can do this. And you can see the little fingers just flex right around what you're doing, and you can get into all these little nooks and crannies like this. Super easy. And turn something that's old and crusty and turn it into something that looks like brand new, just like that, in a couple seconds worth of work. So that is just a couple seconds right there of work on it, and take something that looks like this, all old, crusty, and oxidized, and turn it into this in just a couple seconds. And it even works on cast aluminum and stuff as well. Say like a throttle body, for example. This is all that I did with a throttle body, is just this wheel, just this yellow grit, and that's it, nothing else. And this was just taken from the raw aluminum from the factory that was all oxidized, and just cleaned it right up in a couple of minutes worth of polishing. So that's that. And you gotta get some of these plastic wheels. They're absolutely awesome. The unitized wheels also are absolutely awesome. So I'll show you that as well. So we got our just crusty oxidized aluminum that's all scratched up. And just with a very little bit of time with it. And you can make the grain go however you want it to go this way. You can put a grain in it, but it's fairly rough. It's still probably 240 grit or so, something like that. So it's not super polished, but just like that, you give it. You can still see these scratches. If I was wanted to polish, get a really consistent finish, I would sand that down with like 80 grit first and get these scratches that were in it to go away completely, and then jump on this guy. But there you can see, you can take a crusty piece and just turn it into something awesome in just a couple seconds worth of work. It's absolutely awesome. So highly recommended. I don't get sponsored by 3M or anything like that. I'm just showing you some products that you could use that will definitely be a game changer. So stay tuned for more tips and tricks coming right up.